Well, I welcome you to the month of April. So, traditionally, stock market is always very good, very green in the month of April. But let's go to today's topic. Why I think April will be a good month if I'll put that clause if. So today I'm going to be talking about why Russia and China alliance is actually pushing some European country towards them. I'll be talking about Vice President of America went to Africa without visiting Nigeria. I'll be telling you the reason why. I will also be talking about what I see in the market this month and what I actually believe is going to happen to crypto in the month of April. If you're seeing me for the first time, please subscribe to the channel. My name is Peter Ads, and please put your comment down below. Click that like button and subscribe, please. Thank you very much, and I appreciate everyone that subscribed. So now let's go about it. Now, Nasdaq has actually gone up 20% this year from December to March. Nasdaq has gone up to 20%, and most consensus are now thinking we're now in a bull market. Are we actually in a bull market? We're going to find out this month. So now, there's some, tech company. Last year I've been telling people to start DCAing into tech company because when the rally comes in, these tech companies are going to be at the pole position. I always say pole position because if you look at my cap, it's F1, Formula 1. I'm a Formula 1 fan, so I watch Formula 1. So any times I use here relating to Formula 1, please bear with me. All right. So I said most of these tech companies, like the likes of Microsoft, Google, Nvidia, Meta, and that I've got in my portfolio, Tesla as well. I mentioned Tesla as well, and all these tech companies and people, and Apple. Yeah, that's the biggest of them all, Apple. So I bought all this company and I was DCAing into this company last year towards this year. To my surprise, now my portfolio is bumped up to 37% just within a couple of months. So that's why I said if you're buying into a tech company, you better start DCAing. Then not now. Market has gone up now. So if you start buying now, that means you're FOMOing into the market. FOMO means fear of missing out. So you don't want to start FOMOing into these companies because they've already run up. So now let's talk about the spring. Spring is here now. What's going to be happening and the geopolitical issue? Well, glad you always talk about politics, geopolitical issue. I said, well, I'm not a technical guy. I'm not a TA guy. I understand a bit of TA, but that is not my, my basis. My basis is fundamentals. I believe fundamentals actually triggers what happened with the technical analysis. So TA shows you the direction of where to buy, when to buy, and when to get out of the market. So I do TA as well, but I always want to watch what is going out outside there. I don't want to be in my bubble checking charts morning and night. No, I want to see what's going on there, because in the stock market there's no way you want to underrate the issue of politics, because politics always drive what happened in the market. So that's why I always look out there and see what is going to affect or what may affect what I'm investing in. So I always look out there and see first, and whatever information I can get, I come here, I pass it on to people. And if you want to do your TA, I'm not stopping you from doing your TA, all right? So, because I still use my TA as well. So that's why I talk for the person that asks that question. That's why I talk about geopolitical issue and politics, because stock market actually, really reacts towards what the politicians talk about and what the economists are talking about. So stock market is not independent of these, sectors. That's why I talk about more of them. So now let's talk about spring. Well, Russia, they're going to be, there was a news that came out last week that Russia is actually recruiting up to 400,000 volunteers to fight this war, because this ground is getting solid now. So most of this equipment can be moved easily to the battlefield, and Russia want more manpower because most of the soldiers that started the war last year, most of them are dead already, both in Russia and Ukraine. So they are recruiting more. That means they're trying to bump up the alliance and the advance into the battleground in Ukraine. So that is not sitting down well with me. That means the war is probably going to get a bit of pushed in this coming season. So April, we're starting spring towards summer, and that is when we start hearing most of this news that will be coming out from from Russia and Ukraine, and we have to be very careful. Last video I mentioned, Russia putting nuclear weapon in Belarus. That is not sounding good, but at the moment now they are building up to the big battle in Ukraine, and also Ukraine is actually getting the needed equipment to fight the advance of Russian soldiers. So hopefully nothing actually cracks again in that place. Nuclear, the biggest nuclear reactor in the whole world, lies in that place. We don't want anything touching that nuclear reactor. That will probably be the end of the world. Yes, I'm saying that. That will be the end of the world and the end of humanity. Well, we need to be very careful now. I'm not saying, the coast is clear, we should start investing. I'm not your financial advice. I'm just telling you what I'll be doing. I'm being careful. I've already DCA into these companies I've already bought. I'm not telling you about any company today. I'm just telling you what I think and what I believe market will drive at this month that we are in. So hopefully, if nothing pops up from Russia, Ukraine, or nothing big happen in that place, I expect market to keep, running up. And for now, if nothing actually pops up. So let's talk about cryptocurrency. Well, the reason why I am saying this is cryptocurrency is at a point where I believe they're going to be going forward from here. Reason being, the crisis in the bank, most big investors and billionaires, millionaires are no longer interested in keeping their money in the banks anymore. They don't know which bank is safe at this point. So they're looking at all that investment that they can get more, more profit and all that, instead of putting their millions and billions sitting down there, being used by these bankers who don't know what they were doing at this point. So money is moving into cryptocurrency, and that's why we saw Bitcoin went to 29,000 last week, and I believe I think Bitcoin is at a stage where if it breaks through to 28,600 again, we'll probably see Bitcoin going to 30,000 towards this month, towards this summer. I think so, and I believe so. So most consensus and sentiment now saying people are actually taking their money from the bank now, and trillions of dollars around the world have moved out of the banking system into different exposures and investment. I'm not saying specifically Bitcoin, but I'm saying into different investment and all that, and some of it actually went into cryptocurrency, and that's why we saw Bitcoin and some other cryptocurrency went up last week, and I believe that will continue this summer again. So however, we need to be very careful. I'm not saying the coast is clear. Always put caution in the front, when you're investing, because if anything pops up again or any bank go down again, we will probably go down. S&P is probably going to drop a leg down again, and no NASDAQ, any little news from there, NASDAQ is back down again. So let's talk about the indictment of Donald J. Trump. This is all I'm talking about, because these are the things that will probably ruffle the market this month. So these are the news that you need, and I'm trying to summarize them quickly. I don't want to waste the time. I'm just summarizing what I think and how I believe the market's going to play out this month. So Donald J. Trump was indicted last week. He's going to appear in court by Tuesday this week, and Donald Trump, his movement, the MAGA rally and all that stuff in the United States, he's got millions of supporters in the US and probably multi-millions around the world. So they will not take this lightly, because Donald Trump will probably be the first president that's been indicted by United States, the ex-US president, the first ex-US president to be indicted in United States is Donald J. Trump. We all know this is politics. I spoke a little bit about politics last week when, I spoke about the ban of TikTok and all that stuff. This is all politics, right? Democrats also, they're looking at 2024. Well, the present president may not be, capable enough to carry on from here. He's going to be into his early 80s by 2024. So, and Donald J. Trump is 77, 78. So he's still younger than him, and immediately he declared to be running for 2024, presidential election. That's when the whole thing started. But I'm not blaming Donald J. Trump for, saying he want to run this time. But When it comes to politics, if you're serving somebody, let's serve it around. Issues like this has been happening around Democrat, but you never see them indicting anyone. The president's son was involved in so many issues. He was never indicted. But when it comes to Donald J. Trump, they're putting pressure on him, just to destabilize his political career and his political ambition. But guess what? If his supporters actually says, well, we will not take this lightly and we're going to push forward or protest, January 6th protest that happened, hopefully that won't happen again. But if anything pops up again that can lead to social menace or crisis or havoc, market is going to be spooked, and that is when the stock market is going to get a bit of issue with that, because that is uncertainty. Because if anything pops up, market is so fragile at this point that anything popping up affect the direction of the stock market. So, or what's going to be happening, expect the stock market to go down in April, because everything around stock market now at this point, apart from inflation, apart from geopolitical issue, apart from all the crisis of banking system, unrest in any Western country now will spook the market, and market's going to be going down. So again, let's talk about the UK housing market. Well, UK housing market in March went down 2%, and some fund managers, prominent fund managers are actually talking about that UK housing markets will be going down from here, because they think and they believe that the inflation in UK is higher than the rest of Europe, and UK has the highest inflation rate in the whole G7. And that is where the problem comes in. People will not have the confidence to be buying houses. Commercial real estate is going to be affected, and they're actually projecting 30% downside for UK housing market. That's why I always say about UK housing market, if you want to buy a house or you want to invest in real estate, be very careful, because if you jump in now and what you buy goes down 30%, you will be left holding the bag. You don't want to be holding the bag. If you invest wisely, right? So that's what the consensus. So you can go to the news and check. That news pops up yesterday. I'm talking about yesterday's news. So UK housing markets, expect that to go down from here. So if I'm buying any house or I'm buying properties, I'll be looking towards end of this year before I start going into my mortgage advisor, or I will look at the market before buying. Because if you buy now, even if you want to buy to rent, if you buy now, inflation keep rising. Some people may not be able to, people that have 4 houses, 5 houses, they won't be able to keep those houses. And your tenants, if you're a landlord, may not be able to afford those houses again. Start seeing tenants start moving to suburbs, and the 3-4 properties you have without tenants that were ready to pay the price, because some people lost their job because they want to put more money into some other things, then that's where the problem, filter around. So let's talk about last week, just on Tuesday last week, right? Now, France last week bought LNG, 65,000 ton from China. And guess what? The currency they used to pay for that? Well, France actually paid in yuan. They didn't pay in United States dollars. So, okay, you might be wondering, what is LNG? Liquid natural gas. That's what's called LNG. So France actually bought 65,000 tons of LNG from China, and they paid in Chinese yuan. Doing business with each other. Now they want to be Chinese, government wants the Chinese yuan to be used as the currency instead of US dollars. So now I said something about, Kamala Harris not visiting Nigeria, but visited some African countries when she went there last week. So there's a rumor that Nigeria is also thinking of joining the BRICS. And any country joining the BRICS, America see them as becoming or an enemy, right? So there's a rumor that Nigeria is thinking of, or there's a rumor going around that Nigeria is probably contemplating on joining the BRICS alliance. So, China has got a lot of investment in Africa. They've done their primary job in Africa already before they pop up with all these things. These BRIC, countries now are now trading with Arab countries, Saudi Arabia, and UAE countries, Dubai, Bahrain, Kuwait, and all these countries now buying stuff from China and actually paying with Chinese yuan. So that time, I think if anything didn't pops up, I'm still saying it's on that condition. If anything didn't pop up, I think April will be a good month. It's going to be a great month, just like February and January. March was all over the place because of the banking crisis, but April expect market to go up, and I would advise you to invest carefully. Don't jump on any investment that you are not sure of. Well, that's it for today, guys. I am Peter Ads. Please, I'm not your financial advisor. If you want to buy anything, please go see your financial advisor. Thank you for your support, for watching the video, for subscribing and liking this comment. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.